This is why UFC fighters are actually scared of Ilia Topuria.
He's an animal, dude. He's a real problem.
If he puts a hand on you like that, like, you're gonna go down.
This kid is going to be good for a really long time. He came here in 2020 as a grappler, and he is just knocking people out left and right, and every time he gets better.
He's a good fighter, he's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance, you know.
After knocking out featherweight goats Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway back to back, Ilia Topuria is undefeated in his career and is now hunting the biggest prize of them all in the form of pound-for-pound king Islam Makhachev. And to achieve that, he's gone the extra mile by vacating his featherweight belt to storm into the lightweight Shark Tank.
The title is vacated, and we will announce what Topuria's next fight will be when we get it done.
Topuria's confidence is off the charts, but what truly terrifies UFC fighters is the fact that he actually backs his words up every fight, and he's been doing this since the very beginning. Ilia Topuria signed with the UFC in 2020 on the back of 7 submissions and a knockout that would later become his trademark shot.
He needs to get his back off that cage. Oh, he gets caught!
Once Topuria joined the UFC, he took things to a whole new level, knocking out 3 opponents in his first 4 fights, with his scariest knockout power coming against Jai Herbert.
Vicious knockout.
Blasted him against the, literally slept him, face planted him, and walk-off KO.
With just 4 wins, Topuria burst into the upper echelon of the featherweight division, facing the undefeated and dangerous Bryce Mitchell, who was gunning to destroy the hype.
I don't care what he focuses on, brother. I really don't. All I know is I'm showing up to whoop ass.
On fight night, Topuria was levels ahead as he picked Mitchell apart on the feet and choked him out on the ground, putting on a downright scary performance that caught everyone's attention.
Bryce Mitchell versus Ilia Topuria. Holy shit, dude. Did you watch it yet?
Yeah. I would watch it twice.
His low stance and his boxing,
that kid's style
so clean.
Gotta be one of my favorite styles.
With the win as dominant as the one against a top contender like Mitchell, Topuria was in pole position to fight for the belt, but he still had to go through the toughest test yet in Josh Emmett, and that's when he was about to prove that destroying top-tier contenders was no fluke for him. Topuria entered the fight as the favorite, with most people already convinced that he was special.
I think Topuria is better at grappling, is better at jiu-jitsu, is a more polished striker. He's the best striker. Probably Josh Emmett has more power, you know? But I don't know. Motherfucking tough. Topuria is tough. And I think it's going to be a domination or a finish by Topuria.
Topuria knew that his title shot was within reach and all he had to do was get the win, no matter what it took.
I'm the next guy in the line. Who deserves more than me to fight for a title? No one else, so I'm the next guy.
On fight nights, Topuria put on a performance of his life, outboxing Emmett for 5 rounds and leaving him battered and bloodied. Topuria earned an easy unanimous decision victory, with one judge scoring the fight 50-42 in Topuria's favor. El Matador was now undeniable.
I'd love to see him versus Yair, or love to see him against Volk, and everything he does, even on the ground. It's just like, looks just textbook perfect.
He's got the attitude, he's very marketable, and I think it's time for him to start making that money.
Topuria had now torn through 6 legit UFC opponents, and he promised that featherweight champion Alex Volkanovski wasn't going to have it any different.
No one can match my level of skill inside the cage. I think everyone is agree with me. I know that I can finish anyone in this division. So just was tough tonight, but I beat him pretty easy, and it don't going to be like different with Alex, you know.
Topuria was quickly booked for his first title shot, and with talk that big, he would have no room for error against a dominant champion like Volkanovski. But what happens next would solidify Topuria as one of the scariest fighters in the world. Going into his UFC 298 title shot against Alex Volkanovski, Volk was the betting favorite, and most experts also backed Volk, given his dominant reign with 5 title defenses.
Volk is one of the pound-for-pound best. You know, he continues to improve, and like I think kind of prove people wrong as well. You know, it's hard for me to bet against such a dominant champion.
Who's walking away with that belt?
Volk, man. The guy really got the dog in him. You guys gonna find out tomorrow. I think so. He finishes Ilia within, bro. Before fight.
Even though most pros backed Volkanovski, Topuria was brimming with confidence, predicting a first-round knockout and calling Volk a thing of the past, following that it was his time to retire. Volkanovski didn't let the old guy talk slide, and he showed up to the press conference dressed as an old man.
I guess curious, why was it important for you? Are you kind of leaning into the doubt, into the hate to wear that outfit today?
Man, just having a bit of fun with it, you know what I mean? So, you got to do it, you know?
Topuria let Volk have his moment, but he made it clear that he was not like any of Volk's prior opponents before turning his trash talk towards the crowd.
You know, most of your opponents in the past have, said that they could beat you, but they offered you a lot of respect. Ilia hasn't really offered you that respect.
Don't even compare me with his past opponents.
Well, what do you make of it? What do you make of that energy that he's bringing, that lack of respect? What do you make of that?
Shut up, baby.
After going after the crowd, Topuria turned his focus to Volk, reminding him that his time with the belt was running out.
I think this old man needs to teach this young fella a lesson. What do you reckon?
Hey, you see how he came dressed? You already know what's going to happen. You just came ready for the retirement. Look how you look as an old man.
Get a good spanking, that's what's going to happen, hey.
Shut up, you two, okay? You see that belt?
Yeah,
that's
I've
the
seen
last
it for
day
a while
you enjoy
now,
that
and
belt.
I'll keep seeing it.
That's the last days you are enjoying that belt.
The UFC 298 main event was short, but nothing short of legendary. Volk controlled the first with kicks and distance, but in round 2, Topuria started applying some heavy pressure which helped him pin Volk against the cage. What followed next was a deadly combination ending in Topuria's iconic right hook, knocking Volk out cold, declaring Topuria as the new featherweight's champion.
Oh, good shots.
That'll do it, and new! The mic is it to Spain! Ilia Topuria, the featherweight champion of the world!
Volk was devastated.
He caught me. That's that. I felt good in there. I felt like I seen everything early. You know what I mean? But he ended up catching me. I was pretty comfortable in the first round, and then we started being like, we'll start to do more. I was just about to do more, and he caught me. So it's just the game.
Still, Volk, who had been knocked out by Islam Makhachev just months before, admitted that Ilia's knockout was no fluke and that he deserved all the praise for his performance that night.
I think the talk coming into this was like the only concern was, your greatness is known. Is he turning around too fast, right? There was the knockout 4 months ago. Is there a physical element? Is there something that's going to...
Nah, look, man, that factor? You can't take anything away from Topuria. If he puts a hand on you like that, you're going to go down. I don't care how... that's just that. That was a clean right hand, and I think no matter who you are, you let one of those land on your chin while you're caught there, you're probably going down. Don't let him catch you. That's what that was, you know what I mean? So
the entire MMA world, on the other hand, couldn't believe what had just happened.
Essentially, what he did on Saturday, you've got a superstar on your hands.
He looks like a guy who could be one of the all-time greats.
He called it from the absolute get-go, and he was right. 15-0, 13 stoppages. This man is sensational.
With Topuria reigning as the king of featherweights, he immediately let everyone know that in his eyes, no contenders in the division were worthy enough to give him any kind of challenge.
When you look at the division, who makes sense to you in your mind? Who stands out?
No, nobody. The division really sucks.
That all changed when former champ Max Holloway jumped to lightweight and claimed the BMF belt by obliterating Justin Gaethje with arguably the greatest knockout of all time at UFC 300, which, judging by his reaction, left Topuria shocked. So anyway, following two of the greatest knockouts of their individual careers, Topuria versus Holloway was booked for UFC 308, and this time, Topuria was the betting favourite. However, despite being the favourite, experts still thought Holloway would be the one to end the Topuria show.
You mentioned Max has the edge in your mind in that fight. What is it specifically that you think might lean towards him?
He's proved himself. He's durable, he's very fit, he's got a crazy chin. And he's got all the skills. So, he's smart as well, got a good team. So he's, again, just proving himself.
Hard-headed motherfuckers, and Max is one of them ones. He's one of them ones.
kid from Waianae, Hawaii, on the island, be fighting all his life. So yeah, he's tested in the streets and in the octagon in the certified spot. So I'm trying to visualize Max being dropped, and I can't see it. Like being knocked out, I can't see it.
No matter what anyone thought, Topuria saw Max as nothing other than easy money.
Every time I see him fight, it's like everyone really is gonna be like surprised when I'm gonna knock him out, because I see him like it's such an easy matchup for me. I don't know, to be honest.
Topuria stepped up his mind games as the fight got closer, getting under Max's skin and showing that he's not just a fighter in the cage, he's also a proper showman.
Ilia, Max has said he's the best boxer in the UFC. What do you think of that?
Bro, that's a shame. Don't say that again.
Prove me wrong.
Why
He
is the best boxer in the UFC. Not head movement, not knockout power, not technique. He's just... Listen. And I saw him working with the backs. Bro, what the f*** is this?
Even at press conferences, Holloway found no escape.
You took Alexander Volkanovski's belt from him, then you did it in the cage. How different are things for you now as you are the champion looking to defend that belt?
It's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to take these lights out in the first round.
The two fighters went to war at UFC 308, where after 2 hard rounds of battle, Topuria finally landed his fists on Holloway's chin and knocked him out cold for the first time in his career.
Careful that he doesn't punch himself out. Oh! Massive knockdown for Topuria! And still, he does it again! Ilia Topuria!
This dude at 145.
He just did textbook Ilia Topuria champion stuff. And he put Max Holloway out. He put him out cold, and we've not seen that before in the octagon.
This kid is going to be good for a really long time. He came here in 2020 as a grappler, and he is just knocking people out left and right, and every time he gets better.
Right after the fight, Topuria called for a Volkanovski rematch, but it didn't take long for him to shift gears as he set his sights on instead becoming a 2-division champion, taking shots at the lightweight champion and pound-for-pound king, Islam Makhachev.
What I want to do is to move up to the 155, because I know by fact that I can become a two-weight world champion. Because Islam, he's a great fighter. He's the #1 pound for pound for the people, for me. It's me, myself. I'm the best fighter in the world.
Makhachev dismissed the challenge, saying that he had no interest in fighting another featherweight after already beating Volkanovski twice.
One guy that keeps talking about you also is Ilia Topuria. Do you have a message for him? He really wants to fight you next year.
No, man. I'm tired to give chance the small guys, you know. I need my second belt, you know. It's nothing excited. He's a good fighter. He's a good skills fighter, but I don't want to give him chance, you know. I need second belt. They fight for what? For me, it's nothing.
And how did Topuria respond to this? Well, he vacated his featherweight title at the peak of his powers, fresh off back-to-back wins over 2 GOATs, to chase greatness at lightweight.
He did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, you know, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Ilia's jump to lightweight is a high-stakes gamble because if he fails, his featherweight legacy crumbles for nothing. But if he dominates at 155 like he did at 145, he's on a collision course with greatness. That said, the future of lightweights looks absolutely terrifying. So now, will Ilia Topuria back up his words once again and take down Islam Makhachev for lightweight glory? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to, check out times where cocky UFC fighters got completely humbled for being disrespectful.